Good evening, Lacrosse fans, and welcome into the McDonogh School. We've got a big-time MIAA matchup tonight between the McDonogh Eagles and the Archbishop Spalding Cavaliers here on Pulse Real Media, live on YouTube. We thank you so much for joining us. Couple of arguably top 10 teams in the country, and many would argue that these could be two of the best in the A Conference in the MIAA this season. Spalding in the all-black uniforms on the road today, looking crisp. And the all-whites at home are the Eagles, who have had a little bit of a disappointing start to their season so far. 3-3 record, dropping their opener in the MIAA. On the Spalding side, 5-1, took down St. Paul's 15-10 on Tuesday to open up conference play. For McDonogh, it was an 8-6 loss to, of course, another very talented team in Boys Latin earlier this week to start 0-1 in the conference. Face-off violation, and McDonogh will have the first possession of the day. Connor Newcomb here with you for this one. We thank you so much for joining us. This game moved a couple hours later this evening to get into prime time, and the elements are going to be a factor today from McDonogh. The wind is gusting. Now, luckily, the general temperature is not crazy freezing. It's still in the low 50s as this game starts, and the sun's still up, but the wind's crazy out there, and it is a cold day as the first shot is saved by Ryan McMahon in goal for Spalding. The senior UMBC commit makes the first stop of the day. So the other way come the Cavaliers in the All Blacks, and they throw it away, picked up by Malachi Jones, and he's going to run it. One of the most talented guys with the long pole in all the conference. Jones headed to Virginia next year. It was Hugh Brown who had that initial shot for McDonogh, but the Eagles turn it right back over. And Spalding able to clear. Augie D'Ambrosi to race Ripley, and now they set the offense. The matchup is going to be fascinating on this end today. You've got Mikey Weissauer, number 8 in black, who's now got it up top for Spalding. One of the best players in the country, one of the best goal scorers in high school lacrosse in the USA. And on the other side, you got a couple of defenders who are elite level guys for McDonogh, in Johnny Cool and Malachi Jones. And we'll see who gets the Weissauer matchup early in this one. Nick Gutierrez gives it up to D'Ambrosi. As you can hear the wind gusting here at Owings Mills. Nice little move and a goal for Spalding. Cavaliers on the board first. As a bounce shot beats the keeper. And a Race Ripley goal makes it 1-0. Ripley, the senior, headed to Navy next year. Bounces one home for his 13th goal of the season to go along with 12 assists. And a 1-0 lead for the visiting Cavaliers. Battle for this one off the face-off, and Spalding clears it. Logan Meehan, nicely done to pick that one up by the junior defender. And Spalding's going to have the possession back. McDonogh was ranked number 1 at one point in the country, but after the 3-3 start, they've dropped a bit. And Spalding, they've hung around in the top 10 with the 5-1 record. The only loss coming to the Hill Academy, who came down from Canada to beat Spalding 12-11 a couple weeks ago. That is their only loss of the season so far. Since then, they've battled back, took down the Everest Academy from Canada, beat Western Reserve, the top team in Ohio, which came to the Annapolis area to take on Spalding, and then got the conference opening win over the St. Paul's Crusaders on Tuesday. Spalding looking to make it a 2-goal lead. Weissauer fires, it goes wide, and it stays with the Cavaliers with 26 to shoot. Anthony Wilson in goal for McDonogh, number 13 in white, covers a lot of ground in there. He hasn't played every minute this year. Teddy Scarbo's gotten a little bit of time, but Wilson, the number 1 man in goal. Weissauer gives it up. Nick Gutierrez has some space. Gutierrez couldn't get the shot off. Got checked from behind by Chase Green, who made a nice play right there and forces the turnover. It goes back to McDonogh. Eagles at 3-3 now. It's not like their losses have come to, very much inferior competition. They've come to some of the best teams in the country, as there's a push in the back that's going to get called against Spalding. They lost the season opener to Gonzaga out of D.C. That was an 11-7 loss. Fell to Culver as well. Tough team from outside the area. And then, of course, the MIAA opening loss, 8-6 to Boys Latin. Obviously, that BL team also should be contending for a conference title this year. There's a lot of talent in this league as usual, but seems to be more and more teams fighting right at the top. Spalding, McDonogh, BL, Calvert Hall, all in that conversation. Of course, we're very early in the conference schedule. This Spalding team, the runners-up from last year, as that shot goes high from Hugh Brown. And it will stay with the Eagles. Luke Miller there to back it up. The wind is just unbelievable at McDonogh right now. Miller turning on the crease and got it checked away. Logan Meehan's had a great day so far defensively for the Cavaliers. He'll race off after making that play. And his bench fired up for him. Spalding having trouble clearing this one. Oh, what a play by Weissauer. Oh, he's so quick, and then takes a shove in the back. And the flag flies. And there's going to be a whole lot of laundry on the field here. And it looks like Spalding's going to go a man up. One nothing lead for the Cavaliers here. So they're going to go to the EMO here for the first time today. 6-on-5 goes Spalding, and Mikey Weissauer already dangerous enough when it's even strength. He can become lethal on the man up. It's a minute penalty against Eric Pearl of McDonogh. Ripley swings it behind the goal. Now Ryan Schreier. Augie D'Ambrosi. And they'll continue to swing around this man-down defense. Still 30 on the EMO. Gutierrez fires and scores. A BB from Nick Gutierrez makes it 2-0 Spalding. Gutierrez, he's picked up the scoring a whole lot over the last couple of games after he had just a bit of a slow start in terms of his goal scoring ability. But that's goal number 8 on the season for the senior UMBC commit. And a 2-0 lead for the Cavaliers. So really a dream start in this one for head coach Brian Phipps and the Cavs. But face-off win for McDonogh. They have not had a lot of success with the ball in their stick so far. Just one shot on goal. That was on their first possession of the day. Shot from Hugh Brown was saved by Connor McMahon in goal. So we'll see how this weather continues to play a factor. As McDonogh will go on offense. McCabe Millen. He's the guy to watch on the other end, but he threw it away. Luke Brookman got right in the passing lane for Spalding, and the D-Midi picks it off. Tried to flip it to Ryan Schreier, and Brookman picks up the ground ball. So nicely done by Brookman there. Yes, sir. But they're going to get an offside, it looks like, against Spalding. So after all the work from Luke Brookman, the senior headed to Lynchburg next year to play his college lacrosse at the D3 level. Talented D-Midi for the Cavaliers. They do give it back to McDonogh. But I mentioned McCabe Millen there, the junior number 9 in white. He's McDonough's version of Mikey Weissauer, a Duke commit. Right now, many places have him as the #1 player in the class of 2023. As again, another caused turnover. This time, Jackson Roberts, the Navy commit, jumps in and pokes it away. So the Spalding defense on display early, and we've got a timeout. 4:46 to go in the first quarter. 2-0 lead early for the Spalding Cavaliers. .446 to go in quarter number 1. Archbishop Spalding 2, McDonogh nothing. Here from Owings Mills is, well, it's still sunny out, but the wind is gusting here and maybe playing a factor in this game so far, in which McDonogh has turned it over a lot. Don't get me wrong, the Spalding defense has been fantastic, but it's a little tougher to just control the ball on offense in these conditions. And Spalding, coming out of the Eagles' timeout, has it as Mikey Weissauer just weaves his way and clears it for the Cavaliers. Goals from Race Ripley and Nick Gutierrez on the board for Spalding here, as Augie D'Ambrosi dumps in and gives it to Gutierrez. Weissauer thought about it, backs it out. Still that top line on attack in there for Spalding. Weissauer fires, and it's in. It trickled home. Wilson thought he got enough of it to keep it out, but the first goal of the day for Mikey Weissauer, and a 3-0 Spalding lead. Goal number 29 on the season for Weissauer, the senior Towson commit, who's basically, you can pencil him in for a hat trick at least every time he goes out there. And again, 28 goals in 6 games. Pretty impressive. And he's got his first of the day today, approaching that 30 number on the year. As we've talked about, I mean, should be no issue for him to get to 50 and beyond this season. As McDonogh has done well at the faceoff dot, but they haven't turned it into any goals yet. Offensive end, Ben Furley. Now they go behind the cage with Millen. Millen working one-on-one with Alex Ross, the Penn State commit and senior on defense for Spalding. Up top for Matt McMillan. Has a little swing move to the left. Gets some space, and I think that was a shot. Although the defense from Brendan Danahy got a piece. And it will stay with McDonogh with under 3 to go in the first quarter. Around a screen, behind the cage. Millen feels the double team. Ross on him. Roberts there to help. Now he skips one across. Picks out Furley. 5 to shoot for McDonogh. They got a fire, and that was an easy save for McMahon. Not a lot on that one from Matt McMillan as he was getting crushed as he let it go. And Spalding able to clear. So the Cavaliers with a 3-0 lead now. 2 minutes to go in the first. Trying to get to 2-0 in the early conference schedule. Weissauer with space. Weissauer fires, and he swung it wide. It'll stay on this end. Jack Newell, the star freshman, picks it up for Spalding. Newell around a screen from D'Ambrosi. Took a spill, kept his position, and kept the possession. Gutierrez to his left. Still 35 on the timer. Flip to Weissauer. He's got space. He fires, and he pushed it wide. Got that stick to his hip there and let one rip. And Spalding turns it over. Bit of a lackadaisical pass there from Newell, and Matt McMillan jumped the gun to pick it off. Here come the Eagles the other way. As Spalding almost got the stick in there to take it away from McCabe Millen. Move from Millen to his left. He fires, and it's wide. And Miller there to back it up. It will stay with McDonogh with under a minute to go in our first quarter. Eagles still scoreless here in this one. Miller one-on-one with Meehan, who's had a great first quarter. Give it up to Hahn. Now they go up top. 20 to shoot. And the Eagles are on the board. Ben Furley with a goal, and it's a 3-1 game with about 30 seconds to go in the first. Got some space and beat Connor McMahon on the right side with the shot clock running down. So we'll see who can answer here. This is a big face-off coming up. It'll determine the final possession of this first quarter. 3-1 lead now for Spalding. And Blake Malamphy wins it for the Cavaliers. Fogo, Salisbury commit. Weissauer with space. Got taken down from behind, was able to get the pass off. Ryan Schreier getting shoved to the deck. And we've got a whistle. And it'll keep it with Spalding with 15 seconds. Again, shot clock is off. Here we go with Schreier. Looking for space, now 10. Ryan Schreier, and they got the whistle against Schreier. 8 seconds for McDonogh. Wilson heaves one towards midfield. Malamphy got a check in there and did so nicely. Picks it up, heaves it the other way, and that will end the first quarter, which was dominated by Archbishop Spalding, but McDonogh got a late goal, and it's 3-1 Cavaliers after 12 minutes. 3-1 our score here after one quarter from the McDonogh School. Connor Newcomb with you here for this one. MIAA A-Conference action here in match day 2 of the conference schedule. Archbishop Spalding with a 3-1 lead over the McDonogh Eagles in this one, in a matchup of what many thought might be the top 2 teams in the conference coming into the year. Spalding 1-0 with a win over St. Paul's. McDonogh 0-1 fell to Boys Latin earlier this week. Spalding in that first period went up 3-0. We're really dominating this one. Goals from Race Ripley, Nick Gutierrez, and Mikey Weissauer. But a goal in the final minute of the quarter from Ben Furley seemingly got the Eagles going, got them back in this one, and that's where we stand at 3-1. But Spalding wins the first faceoff of the second. They're in the All Blacks. McDonogh at home in the All Whites today. On a windy day at Owings Mills here on a Friday evening. Weissauer, shakes the defender out of his shoes, but had to go to the right side. Obviously a natural lefty shooter and just missed it high. Seen Weissauer do some outstanding things this year. Shot's been wide of the cage a couple times so far today, though. Couldn't get space there and gives it up. 7 to shoot. See if they can find Mikey. Augie fires instead, and with 2 seconds, it will stay with Spalding, but they're going to dump this one into the corner and get back on defense. And that's exactly what they'll do. It'll be a shot clock violation against Spalding, but other times once you get to that scenario, especially early in the game, especially when you're winning by a couple of goals, you know, late in the game you're down 1, you're trying to score there with 1 pass and a shot, but at this point, Brian Phipps liking how his defense is playing. You back things up, keep one attacker down there to dump the ball into the corner and try to get a stop on the other end like they've done on all but 1 possession so far today. And again, it's another forced turnover. It's Brennan Danahy who's been really good. Senior Salisbury commit got in there, and Spalding takes it back. These 2 teams met last year. It was a classic at Kelly Field at Spalding. Kind of had Spalding jump onto the scene in that one. Show that they were real top-tier contenders and helped propel them to the A-Conference Championship game where they fell 9-8. Were oh so close to that championship last year, and they returned most of their talent onto this team. It was a team led by a lot of juniors last year. Now an opening in front. Couldn't make the extra pass. Weissauer had it pop out of his stick. Gutierrez picks up the ground ball with 25 to shoot, but Brian Phipps has talked about how there's just, one more hurdle for Spalding. That is to get back to that championship game and come home with the hardware this year. He's continued to build this program up. Gutierrez one-on-one here. Andrew Caston defending. Now Schreier goes low to high, and he missed it. And there's 3 to shoot. And again, Spalding's going to do the exact same thing they did on the last possession. Drop the defense back and just dump it into the corner. So back-to-back shot clock violations. The McDonogh defense stepping up here. Johnny Cool back there. A.J. Marsh. See Aiden Hurdle in the area as well. Got some talented guys. Of course, Malachi Jones, who you could see him really anywhere on the field at any given time. Number 1 in white. Causes a whole bunch of matchup problems wherever he is. The Eagles with it back. Trying to get Millen going. Spalding's had a good defensive plan on him so far. Gives it up. And now Brown fires, and that one hit the pipe. It got the post. It may have gotten a piece of McMahon's stick. Either way, it stayed out, but it resets the shot clock to 60. Millen going one-on-one against Ross is a big-time matchup. Gives it up. And McMahon makes a save. Shot from Hugh Brown was right into his body there. And Connor McMahon with another stop. McMahon, who's taken over as a first-year starting goalie this year as a senior and has played very, very well. And they're going to get a slash there, kind of a late flag. It's going to go against Luke Miller. So Spalding will be a man up after this possession, but first they'll set the offense and see if they can extend the lead back to 3. It's a 3-1 game with just about 7 minutes to go in the first half. Connor Newcomb here with you for this one. We thank you so much for joining us here on YouTube. And a save made by Wilson. Ripley went high. It was probably not on cage anyway, but Anthony Wilson, the goalie, senior for this team, went up to grab it. And now the EMO offense back out onto the field. Spalding scored on their first opportunity on the man up back in the first quarter. Can they make it 2 for 2 with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter? 1 minute penalty to Luke Miller. He is in the sin bin here. And Spalding gets into the offense. It's Gutierrez trying to sit in the middle of that zone. Now they'll swing it up top and look for the openings. Now D'Ambrosi drops into the middle. Tough catch for Newell. He couldn't bring it down, and Spalding turns it over. McDonogh on the break the other way. A.J. Marsh gives it up to Millen. And, of course, on the other end, they're going to be 5-on-6 for another 20 seconds, but you would assume McDonogh will squeeze out the final now 15 seconds of the penalty, get themselves back to even strength, and then get going on offense. So a nice play there by A.J. Marsh, the Navy commit on defense, making a nice play as he dispossessed the freshman Jack Newell. And the penalty time is up, so back to even strength. 6-on-6 on this end. As McDonogh will look to slice the lead in half. Under 6 to go in the second quarter. Millen against Ross. That's been the matchup today. Millen gets some space, and he scores on a deflection. McMahon got screened. He got a piece of somebody on the way in, and it's a 3-2 game. As the star, McCabe Millen, junior attacker, finally gets one to go. So back-to-back goals from the Eagles here. And they're back within one, right back into this one. As Millen finds the back of the net. This one loose. We got a whistle. It was Blake Malamphy who ended up on the grass, and they'll call it against McDonogh. So Spalding back in possession. A couple of shot clock violations and then a turnover on the man up. That's how their second quarter has gone so far. Not as crisp on offense as they were in the first. Gutierrez flips it for Weissauer. As he gets a screen, Jones ran D'Ambrosi over, and Weissauer shot wide. Ripley against Marsh behind the cage. Ripley moving around the crease, looking for space. The McDonogh defense has been on another level here in the second period. One of the most talented defensive groups in the conference. Here's Ryan Schreier. D'Ambrosi again got hit to the turf on another screen. Taking a beating on this possession is the senior Augie D'Ambrosi. Jump shot from Schreier. Spalding will stay on offense. There's 9 on the shot clock here as Ripley goes back to get it. Still time to work. Ripley. D'Ambrosi sets another screen and goes down. Now 4 to shoot. 3 to shoot. Schreier tried to bounce one in, and Wilson makes pretty straightforward save. McDonogh racing the other way. Cool gives it up. Nice catch from Millen. Millen's got space, and he ties the game. Back-to-back goals from McCabe Millen. And we've got a 3-3 ball game with 4:04 to go in the first half. That was nicely done on the break by Johnny Cool, the senior Ohio State commit on defense for McDonogh, who's going to get the assist there as he ran the break. And now the Eagles pick it up on the faceoff. And McDonogh with a chance to take their first lead of the day. Millen had to catch that one on the short hop. Now 3.5 to go in the half. That one fumbled away momentarily by McMillan. Gets around a screen with 40 to shoot. Now Millen against Ross. And Ross got a slight piece of that right at the end. I think that caused the Millen shot to air just wide of the cage. Now McMillan. Furley, who had the first goal today for McDonogh, he fires well wide. And we're going to get a whistle here. And it's going to go against Spalding. So a flag down. And McDonogh is going to go a man up. So for the first time today, a penalty against the Cavaliers. It's just 30 seconds, but a big opportunity for McDonogh to take its first lead. Now 2:52 to go in the first half. Millen, tough angle to get that pass off. 15 on the penalty time. Millen behind the cage. Gives it up to Brown. Now 8 on the timer. Skip pass. Extra one. And Brown scores. Top shelf for Hugh Brown. And it's 4 unanswered for McDonogh as the Eagles have their first lead of the day. So after a hot start from Spalding, they scored the first 3. All Eagles since then. It's 4-3 McDonogh with 2:22 to go in the first half. And McDonough's had more success on the faceoffs today as well. Paul McLucas with the long pole in there against Blake Malamphy. Malamphy trying to stretch in there to get it. McLucas swiping at it. Ball still loose. Malamphy ends up on the turf. And Brennan Danahy picked it up. And it's going to be Spalding ball. So a break there for the Cavaliers. They'll get it down 1 with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Offense has been shut down for the last 15 minutes or so of game time. Nothing doing after the 3-0 lead. D'Ambrosi gets a step. Maybe he can provide the spark. They've done a good job on Weissauer. Has McDonogh defensively. Ripley thought about it. Reloads and backs it out. Weissauer with Cool taking him on. Gives it up to Schreier. Still 45 on the timer. Gutierrez with a fake flip. Didn't fool McDonogh. Newell. Working around the crease, tiptoes, spins, sent to the ground and turns it over. Jones picks up the ground ball and races the other way. After a nice defensive play by the Eagles. And a whistle. And a timeout called by McDonogh. 1:07 to go in the first half. 4-3, the Eagles lead it in a top 10 tilt. Four-3 lead for McDonogh with 1:07 to go in the first half. Coming out of an Eagles timeout. And the shot clock, not a factor here with under a minute to play in this half. So if the Eagles want to, they can hold for a final shot. They've scored 4 unanswered goals, including outscoring Spalding 3-0 in this second quarter to take this 4-3 lead. And this might be what Coach Andy Hilgartner's plan is here for these final 30 seconds or so. Just kind of run this down and try and make it worst case scenario 4-3 and best case scenario 5-3 at the half. Gives it up, low to high, and that one was shot wide by the freshman Hahn. Each team's got a first-year attacker who plays a whole lot. It's Hahn on the McDonogh side and Newell on the Spalding side. Jackson Roberts broke that one up nicely. 15 seconds as Danahy trying to run it for the Cavaliers. 10 seconds on the clock. Danahy gives it up. They go one more to Ripley. Ripley with 5 and a whistle and a timeout. So Brian Phipps gets the timeout on the Spalding side with 5.3 seconds remaining in the first half. .3 seconds to go in the first half, coming out of a Spalding timeout, as the Cavaliers with one final chance to tie this up before the break. 4 goals in a row from the Eagles. They've taken the lead in this one, and Mikey Weishauer is going to be on the restart. He think you got time for one pass if you want to make it, or we'll see if Mikey goes one-on-one, goes in towards goal, dives in and scores, and they count it. Weissauer with a second remaining in the half. Well, in that timeout, you can draw up a lot of things, or you can say get the ball to one of the best players in the country, and Weissauer's got his second goal today. So Mikey Weissauer puts it home, was able to stay out of the crease long enough. And he's tied this one at 4 with 1.1 seconds to go in the half. So that's going to take us to halftime all even. 2 from Weissauer, 1 from Ripley, 1 from Gutierrez on the Spalding side. McCabe-Millen had 2 on the McDonogh side. And back and forth we go between 2 of the top teams in the MIAA. We're all even at halftime, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly for the third quarter. It's a good one. You're not going to want to miss it. 24 down, 24 to go here from the McDonogh School in Owings Mills. Connor Newcomb here with you, Paul Surreal Media on YouTube. We thank you so much for joining us for a matchup between two of the best teams in the MIAA conference and the best high school lacrosse conference in the country. It's McDonogh Eagles and the Archbishop Spalding Cavaliers, two top 10 ranked teams in the nation, and they're all even at 4 as we start the third quarter here of this one. McDonogh in the all-whites, Spalding in the all-blacks, and the Eagles start with possession in the third. McDonogh coming in 3-3 overall after a really, really tough strength of schedule to start their season, but they are 0-1 in the conference after an 8-6 loss to Boys Latin earlier this week. On the flip side, Spalding 5-1 as a save made by McMahon, rebound, and a layup there for Hahn to give McDonogh a 5-4 lead. So McMahon made the huge stop, but the freshman Hahn dunks it home, and the Eagles are back on top. First goal of the day for the first-year attacker. But again, on the Spalding side, they're 5-1. They started conference play 1-0 with a 15-10 home win on Tuesday over St. Paul's. Crusaders, talented team, do have a brand new head coach this year in 2022. And Spalding able to pick up the victory. Another face-off infraction against Blake Melanthia and the Cavaliers. So McDonogh's got it right back with a 5-4 lead. Remember, Spalding opened this game, scored on 3 of their first 5 or 6 possessions, went up 3-0. They led 3-1 after a quarter, but McDonogh came storming back. At the end of the day, it was 4 straight goals from the Eagles to go up 4-3. But Spalding tied it on a Mikey Weissauer goal with 1.1 seconds remaining in the first half. That tied the game at 4. And now the Eagles get one back to take the lead. Here's McCabe Millen. Had a big first half, feeds inside, and that shot bounces wide. It was a turnaround from Hahn. Try to make it back-to-back goals, and it'll stay with the Eagles. 30 to shoot for McDonogh. Hahn moving left, trying to find some space, working against Ben Ruiz, the junior captain. Oh, now Millen gets a lot of space, sizzles one high, and they're going to give it to McDonogh. I think Logan Meehan thought he had him beat to the end line, but Luke Miller went into a dive and kept the possession. Now with 9 seconds to shoot. Miller moving left, fires high. That'll again stay with McDonogh. They've got 5 on the timer, so we will see what they do. They are going to keep the offense in there and keep the attackers, but they'll just dribble one into the corner. So shot clock violation against McDonogh. Good job by Spalding to hold there and keep it at a 1-goal game. Cavaliers able to clear. 2 goals from Weissauer, 1 from Ripley, 1 from Gutierrez in the first half for Archbishop Spalding, Brian Phipps' team. We'll see if they can answer back, even at 5. Since Spalding took the 3-0 lead, it's been a lot of good defensive pressure. As that one on the ground, it's loose, and Wilson picks it up in the crease. Back the other way come the Eagles, and they've got a 2-goal lead. Luke Miller is on the board. And the McDonogh offense starting to show out. 6-4 Eagles with 8:54 to go in the third. Big face-off here. Swept up in the air. Cool knocks it ahead, and Cole scoops it up for McDonogh. Another face-off win for the Eagles. They've won every single one so far in this second half. Big reason why they've taken the 2-goal lead now. They've had the advantage all day at the face-off dot. So McDonogh teams that had a bit of a roller coaster early this season with a 3-3 start. They're putting together some of the best lacrosse of their season so far here in this second and third quarter. Wasn't the case in the first, but they've picked it up. McMillan had it knocked away. Jamison Kaufman got his stick in there for Spalding. Miller scoops it up, still 30 to shoot. They've got plenty of time on offense here. Miller takes a bump, feeds inside. Hahn was there, but he was close to the crease, didn't turn and look at the goal. 8 seconds now. They got to go. They got 4 seconds. I don't think the Eagles realize how much time is left. 1 second. Shot, and McMahon makes a great save. I think it came off the helmet there, potentially. But he makes the stop. Spalding upset. And I think they may have called a shot clock violation. I think Spalding was upset because they picked up the ground ball off the shot and thought they were off to the races. But the referees blew them dead. Cavaliers possession either way, 7 minutes to go in this third quarter. Here comes a shot and a save by Wilson, denying Weissauer as he tried to beat the senior goalie low. And Wilson stepping up in this second half. Oh, he didn't see it. Lost a pass in the sun, as that's right where that shade line is, down by the goalie crease. But luckily for him, no real pressure from Spalding. And one of his defenders was able to scoop it up. That could have been a disaster had there been more Cavaliers in the area. Here's Hugh Brown. He had the goal that put McDonogh on top for the first time, 4-3 in the second quarter. Feet up top. McMillan goes left and took a bump as he was shooting, had it kind of roll out of his stick. It'll stay on this end. Goal line extended. McCabe Millen tries a jump shot. That one wasn't very close. Race for it. Keeps it with McDonogh. Trey Moore was able to run that one down in the corner. The BU commit, 25 in white for the Eagles. Up top for Hahn. Goes right. Got a step. Got an opening. Goes to the left and scores. Second goal today for Hahn. And it's a 7-4 McDonogh lead. Overall, a 3-0 run to start this third quarter and a 7-1 scoring run in total for the Eagles. They lead at 7-4 with 5:47 to go now in this third quarter. It's been all McDonogh in the second half. Spalding looking for an answer. Whistle and a hold on the faceoff is going to give it to the Cavaliers, their first faceoff win of the second half. Feels like even with the 2 goals, Mikey Weissauer has been held in check a bit. Maybe it's the fact that McDonogh's just held everybody else in check. Maybe Newell can get going. He gives it up. Here is Weissauer. Fakes the flip, gets some space on Jones and fires wide. Newell turns around and wins the race to keep the possession. Jack Newell behind the cage. Lost his footing. Kept the possession, though. Still 40 to shoot. And he tried to get it to Race Ripley. A.J. Marsh knocked it away. And Ripley scoops up the ground ball. He goes down to the turf. Ball was still in his stick. And they call the infraction against Ripley. Ground ball, Miller picks it up. And McDonogh's got all the momentum right now with under 5 to play in the third. Gabe Millen, the Duke commit out top. See if he can provide another spark here in the third. Working against Ross. Gets the screen, gets wide open, and McMahon calmly had his near post covered and makes the save. Big stop for Connor McMahon. Weissauer clears. 4 minutes to go now in the third. Spalding still looking for that first goal of this period. Gutierrez looking for space. Remember, the Cavaliers led 3-0 early. Their only goal since then was Weissauer just before the buzzer of the first half to tie it at 4. Gutierrez with a spin move. Gets some space, fires from a tough angle, and the shot didn't even make its way to goal. Aiden Hurdle was right there to knock it down, but Spalding has the ground ball, under 30 to shoot. Weissauer looking for space, feels the double team, gives it up to Ripley. Jones on him behind the cage. Now 17 on the timer. Ripley turning. Great defense from Malachi Jones. Now 9 seconds. Ripley spins around Jones, fires a bounce shot, and Wilson makes a save. Another stop for Anthony Wilson. But a little trouble on the clearance from McDonogh. Matt McMillan, though, picks up a bouncing ball. And he's into the offensive zone. 2:40 to go in the third. 7-4. The Eagles lead the Cavaliers. Top 10 matchup in the country. Two of the best high school lacrosse programs you'll find. Both reside in the same conference. McDonogh trying to get back over 500, get a win on the board in the MIAA. They've played well enough to do so today so far. Moore. Oh, and Meehan got in there again. It'll stay with McDonogh, but Logan Meehan's been a big-time bright spot on defense today for Spalding. The juniors made some big plays back there, multiple caused turnovers. Now they get a stick in there again. Lackadaisical pass, and who else but Meehan to pick up the ground ball, and a perfect little outlet to Connor McMahon. 1:40 to go in the third. Spalding's offense has been shut down. You feel like they need a goal soon as Alex Ross brings it across the timeline. He clears, and now Ross has some space. Ross in on goal. Ross will try to dunk it home, and Wilson makes another stop. It was a really tough angle for Alex Ross to try and score with the long pole. Now Miller the other way gives it up. Moore couldn't catch it, but the ground ball picked up by Millen. Millen inside, wide open, they score again. It's Eric Pearl this time, and it's an 8-4 lead for McDonogh. 4 unanswered goals for the Eagles in this third quarter. And Brian Phipps looking for answers on the Spalding sideline. Thought it was a good play. It was a good decision, I thought, by Alex Ross to keep heading towards goal. He had the opening. He just got himself caught on a tough angle with that long pole. Obviously, you don't have nearly as much range of motion as the guys with the shorter sticks on attack. As that one's picked up right to the goal, and McMahon makes a huge save. Oh, man, Chase Green won the faceoff, and he was in. He was looking to put the dagger into the Cavs. But Connor McMahon came up huge to keep it an 8-4 game with 45 seconds to go in the third. Shot clock is off as Spalding looks to try and finally get a goal back. Aiden Hamill is in there trying to provide a spark. 12 in black. The senior Mary Washington commit. 15 seconds, Schreier. Weissauer around a screen. Weissauer fires and scores. The Cavs needed it, and they got it. It's another hat trick for Mikey Weissauer, and it's his 31st goal of the season to make it an 8-5 game with 11.5 seconds to go in the third. So it almost had to have it possession there for Spalding, and they get the goal to stop the 4-0 run. So now a big-time face-off coming up here. There is enough time with 11.5 to try and get a goal before the third quarter ends. Malamphy wins it. Malamphy with 8. He's sandwiched in between two defenders, taken down, doesn't get the whistle. Jones brings it across midfield, and that will end the third quarter. So Spalding gets a goal with about 10 seconds to play, but other than that, a period dominated by McDonogh. This game was tied at the half, but the Eagles, after 3, lead it 8-5. 8-5 our scores. We begin the fourth quarter. Connor Newcomb with you here for this one. Paul Surreal Media on YouTube. We thank you so much for joining us. McDonogh outscoring Spalding 4-1 in that third quarter after this game was tied at 4 at the break. The question is, can the Eagles finish this off in the final 12 minutes, get their first conference win of the year, and get a huge win over Archbishop Spalding? But that's back-to-back face-off wins for Blake Malamphy for the Cavs, a good sign for Spalding. So they'll try to get another goal, and that one was ripped wide there as Jamison Kaufman took a shot. The sophomore, number 0 in black, as he comes off. Try to get himself into the score sheet this season, but stays with Spalding. They got a goal with 11 seconds left in the third to stop a 4-0 run, cut it back to 8-5. It was a Mikey Weissauer goal. He's got 3 of the 5 tallies for the Cavaliers. Schreier takes a bump, looking for space. He's got Hurdle on him. Gives it up to D'Ambrosi. Spinning, firing, it goes high. It'll stay with the Cavaliers. A late effort by both Eric Pearl back there and Newell to go for the possession. Weissauer rips one in. And a save for Anthony Wilson. Another stop for the senior goalie, who was huge in that third quarter. Marsh gives it up to Millen. Now McDonogh can try and extend their lead back to 4. They've spread out the scoring pretty well so far in this one. Hugh Brown's got on the board. Of course, Millen's got on the board. Green, Hahn had 2 in that third quarter. We've seen Pearl score. We've seen Furley score. They've come at Spalding from a lot of different angles so far in this one. Here's Hugh Brown. Still 30 to shoot. He goes to Millen. That one-on-one matchup's been fun to watch between McCabe Millen and Alex Ross today. A couple of high major D1 commits, Penn State and Duke. And Millen had it knocked away as he was falling, tried to shoot, and it was an easy stop for McMahon, who actually had to reach behind the goal to pick it up. And now Spalding with a miscommunication on the clearance. D'Ambrosi picks it up, tries to knock it into the middle of the field. Kaufman coming over. It's a mad scramble for it. Weissauer delivers a hit. And at the end of all that, Spalding comes up with it. A huge ground ball with 9:30 to go in this one. One that the Cavs absolutely needed. It was the smallest guy on the field, maybe, Mikey Weissauer, delivering a hit that allowed the Cavaliers to get that ball back. Now Race Ripley. And Ryan Schreier. We'll see if they can get him going here in this fourth quarter. Spalding's going to need somebody other than Weissauer to step up if they want to come back in this game. Maybe it's Nick Gutierrez. He had their first goal. Gutierrez sweeps his way in, somehow still has possession with Jones all over him. Now gives it up. Still 35 on the timer, plenty of time. 8:45 to play. Newell behind the cage. He's working against Matt McMillan. Newell, the freshman, diving in. He sent it wide. D'Ambrosi racing after it, and it will stay with Spalding. 21 seconds on the shot clock. Now we'll see what the set is for the Cavaliers. D'Ambrosi turning. Newell behind the crease, now 10, gives it up. Weissauer with space, fires it wide. Ripley there to back it up. 6 seconds on the clock. At this point, if you're Spalding, you kind of have to go for it, you think. 8:23 to go in the game. They're going to have to try something here. Ripley with 5. Ripley working against Marsh. Behind the crease, just couldn't find anything, and he tosses it away. A huge shot clock violation forced by McDonogh as the time continues to tick away against Spalding. An 8-5 game with 8 minutes to play. Marsh able to clear it as the Navy commit brings it across. And McDonogh just fine with milking a little clock here. 7:50 to play from Owings Mills. Even with the Weissauer goal at the end of the third, it's still overall an 8-2 run from the Eagles after Spalding led 3-0 early in this one. Brown with a bounce pass into the corner for Trey Moore, the BU commit. 25 to shoot. Moore, nice move, gives it up. Oh, what a pass and a finish. Luke Miller puts it away, and it's once again a 4-goal advantage. That was an unreal find by Trey Moore, and it's 9-5 McDonogh with 7:16 to play. Moore gets the assist. Miller gets his second goal. And all of a sudden, the Eagles can start to taste it a bit. 4 goals in 7 minutes, certainly not impossible, but the way the McDonogh defense is played, they got to be feeling good with this advantage. But Blake Malamphy, who's been much, much better in this fourth quarter, does win another face-off for Spalding, a much-needed one, as the clock ticks down under 7 minutes to go. Malamphy stays in on offense, fires one, and he hit the pipe. Oh, Malamphy hit the post, and the Eagles have the rebound. They're going to break the other way. Millen tried to pick out Miller, and Meehan picked up the ground ball. They were obviously getting a little greedy trying to get that dagger goal, and Spalding gets it right back. That was a good-looking shot from Malamphy. Beat the goalie, just hit the pipe and did not get a favorable bounce. But Spalding does get it right back. Time continues to tick away on him. 6:25 and counting to go. Mikey Weissauer with his 3 goals today calls out the offense for the Cavs. Weissauer from the right side working against Johnny Cool. Weissauer gets in. Weissauer. And a flag flies. That's against McDonogh. Gives it up. And Newell just sizzled that one high. He had a lot of space to score. And the freshman couldn't put it home. But Spalding will go in the EMO with 6:03 to play. So a big chance for the Cavaliers. 1 for 3 on the extra man today. You're pretty much talking about down 4 with 6 to go. You have a man up for 30 seconds. You kind of feel like you got to score right here. And also the best defender for McDonogh, Johnny Cool, is the one who took the penalty and will not be on the field. So a huge chance for Spalding here. They get it up to Mikey Weissauer, and we'll see if he goes to work. Gutierrez now behind the goal. 15 seconds on the penalty. Ripley. They go around the world once again. 8 on the penalty time. Gutierrez up to Ripley. Now Weissauer. 4 seconds on the penalty time. They feed in the middle. Oh, what a find. And Ryan Schreier puts it home right as the penalty time ends. And it's a 9-6 game. Spalding back in it with 5 minutes and 32 seconds to play. So Ryan Schreier, the senior Towson commit, gets his first goal of the day, number 16 on the season for number 22 in black. And 9-6 our score. And Malamphy wins another one. He has been nails in this fourth quarter, keeping Spalding around, but now he's got to get it into the offensive zone and does get it away to Jamison Kaufman. Now Spalding can set things up. They get it to Weissauer. He looks at the clock. 5 minutes to play. Team trailing by 3 here. Augie D'Ambrosi out top. Heads to the corner to set the offense. They go to Weissauer. Looking for number 4. Cool back in there against him. Weissauer stops on a dime. Goes back left. Threw it off the helmet of a defender. As that hit off of Aiden Hurdle. And Spalding trying to run it down in the corner. And they call a hold against McDonogh. So the Cavs will keep the possession. And they'll get a reset to 60 on the shot clock. 4.5 and counting to play. D'Ambrosi spinning. Finds Weissauer. Cool on him. Weissauer fires wide. It'll stay with the Cavaliers. Despite Weissauer getting the hat trick, Johnny Cool has been the right guy to put on Mikey Weissauer. The future Buckeye Cool has been cool, calm, and collected back there against maybe the best scorer in the conference. Now Race Ripley. He had an early goal for Spalding. Weissauer loads up, fires, and he scores. Just beats Wilson. And here come the Cavaliers. They've cut it to a 9-7 game with 4 minutes on the dot to play. Plenty of lacrosse left in this one as Mikey Weissauer's got another 4-plus goal game, and that's goal number 32 on the season for the senior midi. Man, the Towson Tigers are, their offense is going to take a whole nother step up next year, I should say, when they get Weissauer in there. Another big face-off. Malamphy trying to scoop it out from underneath of Green, but McDonogh has it. And Green will fumble it initially, but pick up the ground ball. And Eagles had really struggled on the face-off in this fourth quarter, which kind of allowed Spalding back into this one, but they do win that one. So now do they milk clock or do they try to get the lead back to 3? 3:30 to go. There's 57 on the shot clock right now, so you time it up even if they don't score. If they run the whole clock, you can run it down to 2.5 minutes with a 2-goal lead. But obviously you're playing with fire if you slow down here, because I think the Spalding offense has some momentum for the first time since early in the first when they took a 3-0 lead fairly quickly in this one. But there is a flag flying. That's going to help McDonogh as Miller goes down. And Spalding just trying to possess it so the penalty time can start. And they do knock it out of bounds, so that'll do that job. And there's 2:56 on the clock. But the penalty becomes massive because it resets the shot clock to 60 when time is the friend of McDonogh, and it's a 1-minute penalty against the Cavaliers. So that is a huge call in this game. Brendan Watson called for the 1-minute infraction. He is sent off. And McDonogh is just going to sit on this one, and I don't blame him at all. You can run off a minute of the clock, 6-on-5, so if Spalding tries to double the ball to take it away, I mean, you basically play 5-on-3, and you can seal it with a goal. So instead, if you're Spalding, I mean, your best case scenario is kind of just to sit back, let them run that minute, and then try and get the possession back and score. Shot clock and penalty time even. 2:13 to go in the game. A goal at this stage might lock it up for McDonogh as a bounce shot saved by McMahon. Huge save from the senior Connor McMahon, who almost threw it away, and Jackson Roberts made a key catch. Ben Ruiz able to clear. Here comes Spalding, under 2 minutes to play. Teams at even strength. Coming in Gutierrez, and he got back checked. Huge play by McDonogh as it'll go off Spalding and out to the Eagles. Weissauer was just trying to shield it out of bounds to keep the possession, and he incidentally kicked it out, and now we have a flag flying. So it's McDonogh possession. There's a minute 42 left on the clock, and there's 78 on the shot clock. So they can't completely run the entire time off. But with the 2-goal lead, McDonogh set up pretty well right now, especially depending on what this flag is. If this goes against Spalding, McDonogh can theoretically run the rest of this one out. So we'll see what the call is. Again, Mikey Weissauer was over there trying to just shield off a defender and pick it up. But it's going to be Spalding possession. So that is a massive call. Archbishop Spalding's going to get this ball back with a minute 42 remaining, trailing by 2, and they've got new life. So they did not assess a penalty. The teams are 6-on-6 out there. So at even strength, there's 62 on the shot clock for Spalding, and again, 142 on the game clock. Here goes Weissauer against Kuhl. Tried to flip it to Gutierrez, mistimed it, but picked up his own pass. And that's a smart timeout by Brian Phipps. Yeah, he saw that wasn't exactly what he wanted. Weissauer was kind of all over the place, and Phipps wants to talk it over. 1:33 to go, 9-7 McDonogh lead. Can the Eagles hold it when we come back? 9-7, McDonogh leads it. Connor Newcomb here with you from the McDonogh School. We thank you so much for tuning in here live on YouTube. Spalding trailed 9-5 in this game. They've got back-to-back goals, and they've got the ball with 1:28 and counting to play. They need a goal on this possession to stay in this game, and Weissauer almost threw it away, but that was a heck of a catch by Ryan Schreier. 38 on the shot clock. Weissauer looking for space, and he hit the pipe. Ball's still loose. Who's got it? McDonogh's got it. And it's Aiden Hurdle with the biggest ground ball of the day. Moore trying to keep it in bounds, and he does just that. Trey Moore into the offensive end. Moore looking for space, and Andy Hilgartner calls timeout. 60 seconds to go. McDonogh looks like they're on their way to a huge conference victory. So we've got exactly 1 minute to play here from the McDonogh School. It's 9-7. The Eagles have the lead over Spalding in a top 10 matchup. And the shot clock is off. It reads 67 right now, but because there's only 60 seconds left in the game, it will not be a factor. And after Mikey Weissauer hit the post on one end, McDonogh's got the possession up 2 with no shot clock. And Spalding's going to need a miracle to come back in this one. You'll most likely see them double the ball. The goalie, McMahon, will come out of the crease. And they'll basically dare McDonogh to try and shoot, hope they miss and can get the possession. They'll fire towards the open cage. They do miss, but the Eagles were back there. Matt McMillan was there in time, so 55 seconds. It'll stay with the Eagles. All they got to do is put one in the empty cage, and they'll put this one away. McMillan with the double team on him. And Andy Hilgartner, the head coach for McDonogh, wants another timeout with 49.6 seconds to play. Another McDonogh timeout they're coming out of here. 49.6 seconds to play. Shot clock is off. They've got the ball and a 2-goal lead over Spalding. Just trying to play keep away or find an empty net, which would basically put this one away. It's the best 2023 recruit in the country, McCabe Millen, looking to put it away, but a nice-looking back check from Spalding. And the play by Alex Ross keeps the Cavaliers in this one. With 30 seconds, here comes Weissauer, but they got to get a goal quick, down by 2. Weissauer winding up, double team comes, gets knocked to the turf, and that's going to do it. Malachi Jones picks up the ground ball, heaves it down the field with about 15 seconds. McMahon will catch it. Meehan the other way down the field. Weissauer catches and fires. That would have been absurd as he sends it over the goal. 7.7 seconds remaining. It'll stay with Spalding. And now Brian Phipps is going to call timeout. They need 2 goals in 7 seconds. Can they do it? We'll find out in a moment. So Spalding's got it. They trail by 2, but there's only 7.7 seconds remaining in this game. And they've got to get 2 goals. So right now, it needs to be 1 pass, catch, score, face-off win, 1 pass, catch, score. That's your only chance here. We'll see if it can happen. And Schreier couldn't catch it. Ball bounds towards the Spalding bench. Goes out of bounds with 2.2 seconds. McDonogh will toss it in. And that will do it from Owings Mills. A huge win for the McDonogh Eagles, and they're first in the conference this year as McDonogh takes down Archbishop Spalding by a final score of 9-7. Well, Spalding got 4 goals from Mikey Weissauer, their star, but the defense was too much from McDonogh today, and despite a 3-0 early lead for the Cavs, the Eagles came on strong in the second half and were able to hold on for a 9-7 victory to get to 1-1 in the conference and 4-3 overall. Spalding falls to 1-1 in the MIAA and 5-2 overall on the season. We thank you so much for joining us for this one. Make sure to hop back with us on Tuesday when Spalding's back at home to take on the John Carroll Patriots. But until then, for our producer and director, Paul Garza, I'm Connor Newcomb signing off from the McDonogh School one more time. The McDonogh Eagles with a huge home win in the conference, beating Spalding 9-7. We thank you so much for watching and hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.